Tyler, it is Chinese New Year's holiday and we are off on a 12-day road trip to Guangzhou and back. These are the places we are heading to, and in this order. First we are setting off from Suzhou, and our first stop will be Fuzhou in Fujian Province. We'll stay there for one night and make our way down to Zhangzhou for 2 nights, which is also part of Fujian Province. Then we'll head to Guangzhou, stay there for 5 nights, go to Xiamen for 2 nights and end at Wenzhou for 1 night before driving back up to Suzhou. So it's going to be quite an adventure. We were on the trip 2 days ago. We thought it wasn't going to happen, but it's now happening, and we have got a 9-hour trip to Fuzhou. I've reset the counter to 00 and we are off on our journey. Into our first pit stop. We're stopping off at the services. The services are pretty much the same as in England. We've got food parlours on the side, dumplings, coffee. You can see the famous Chinese pancakes. We've got noodles, gift shops, little supermarket. But yeah, it's just the same as any other place, I guess. It's a big change from how it was like 10-15 years ago. We've still got about 400 miles to go. It's about 8.5 hours left of driving. So we need to take less breaks and need to be on the road longer. Second big stop, we've done 200. That's the camera makes that sound. It's so loud, it's unbelievable. We have done 292 kilometers on the speedometer. We're on this next services. Don't know if you can see that, but that's where we are. And we've still got 5 hours and 41 minutes left. She's obviously waiting for me. We both need to go to the toilet. That's why we stopped. But we've got 5 hours 41 minutes left, 313 miles to go. We're going to take a tour inside this service. The scenery is quite nice, mountains in the background. Services are services, I guess. People relaxing in chairs. Restaurant. It's a lot more smokier in that toilet. Not as nice as the other one. But yeah. Right, we've got some stuff to eat. We've had some strawberries and some cherries. I prepared last night, so we've got some cherries here, some strawberries here. We've got some toothpicks and some spoons to eat them with. And I've got my mashup of avocado, pumpkin, coriander, onion and black pepper. So we're going to have lunch now.
I've got biscuits in there.
Yeah, Shelley's got biscuits in there.
I got short.
And then we've got some hot water as well. It's quite cold outside, yeah. Cold and wet. So we're sitting in the back of the car, just going to have our lunch now. Okay. We are in Tiantai J2 service area. It's very nice. It's very local. We've just come through in that exit. We're just going to the toilet. So far we have travelled quite a distance. We've only got 120 miles to go. That's about, the sat nav is saying 2 hours 20 minutes. There are a lot of hills and the temperature has changed slightly. We've got blue skies. Before it was like heavy rain. But yeah, the facilities have changed for sure. The toilets weren't great. Not sure what we're looking at. It's kind of stinky. Yeah, it actually does stink a lot, really badly. So that's the services we've just been into. It's very plain. You can see the mountains in the distance. That's what the drive has been like mostly. This is the entrance here. The journey so far has been quite straightforward. Shelley's been sleeping for a few hours, which is fine. So we've only got a couple of more hours there, and we'll be at the hotel, and then we can relax and have something nice to eat. Right, so as we slowly approached Fuzhou on our drive, these were the scenes that we saw along the way. The day turned out to be really, really beautiful. It was so sunny the further south we went, and we were surrounded by mountains, and there was a lot of tunnels we went through as well. I never knew there were so many tunnels that we were going to travel on during this trip. However, it was a long journey. We were on the road for 10 hours, and by the time we did make our way down into the hotel, I was so tired. I was really exhausted actually. There was a lot of driving, a lot of concentration. The roads were great. The traffic was really, really good. We weren't stuck in any traffic jams, which is great. In the evening, we went out to get some food straight after, and it was quite difficult to get the sort of food that I needed, which is basically mainly vegetarian. Everything had meat in it. There was a lot of restaurants, almost I would say like 95% of the restaurants, every dish had meat in it. But we went to 5, and it ended up that the first one we went to served vegetarian dishes. So we ate there, and then we just went back to the hotel and just relaxed and just fell asleep because we were absolutely shattered from the long journey. I took a few photos and a couple of videos on my phone of what the outside of the hotel looked like. This is what it looked like. And we went for a walk around the area that we were living in. It was slightly run down, but it had character, and it was very, very interesting. There's lots of activity with people dancing in the streets. That was really nice. It's always good to see that. And yeah, people were just getting on with life basically. There was still a hustle and bustle going on, even though it is Chinese New Year. And some of the back streets were quite interesting in a positive way. You know, you go down a back street and there was a few restaurants down here, and they were full. It was nice. There was nice atmosphere. Good morning, everyone. We're in the elevator right now on our way to the breakfast buffet on the top floor, and this is just a quick preview of what was at the buffet. It's very nice food, very nice ambiance. We sat to the left next to the window, very nice and cozy. The atmosphere was good, nice and relaxing.
Hello, I am actually going to give you a tour of the room. So, it is Hilton Home 2 Suites. It's quite a big room, it's quite a wide room, and plenty of space. A little cupboard there, wardrobe. Bathroom is in here. Very spacious, lovely. I like this, quite like that. It'd be nice to have something like that in our forever home. There's a little kitchenette here, and you've got a hidden sink, which is pretty cool. That comes down like that, and it's hidden. You've got your fridge, and there's this. There's a little kitchenette of appliances, tea, coffee, the usual. You've got a coffee maker and unlimited Nespresso capsules. This is the room itself. Quite nice. Got a little sofa area here, like a little lounge, and this comes out to give you a distinction between the bed and the seating area. Bed, seating area. Lovely. Then there's another seating area, but I've put my suitcase there. Nice large TV. Then if I open the window, this is interesting. So here you've got developmental works going on here. They're obviously going to be building. You see the mountains in the back, and then you've got the other side where you've got houses that have been here for a while. I wonder how it's affecting them. There must be a lot of noise with construction. It's kind of like quite interesting, like you get two contrasts of the world here, like with the window frame. And then I'm just going to pan around the room so you can see. Nice and spacious.
Morning. Deciding to vlog from a busy road, which isn't the best idea. So it's the day after. We arrived last night, then we've had breakfast, and then so the plan for today is to see the local tourist area in Fuzhou. And Fuzhou is quite an interesting place. I mean, it's got this old vibe going on, you know. But we're going to be going to the tourist area now. It's going to be about 40 minutes to get there, 10-minute walk to the station, and then a 30-minute ride on the train to go to the tourist area. There's a different style of crossing here. I think people tend to give way a lot more, which is quite good. But yeah, the pavement situation is people tend to ride on the pavements, even when they've got their own bike lanes. We're on our way to the metro. Here's the entry point. So this is line 1, is Sanchaji station. This is the underground. You've got the places at the bottom where to stand. Should be standing on the side, so you stand in the middle so people can come out. So on the train we're going to, this is where we are, and we are going to head all the way to line 4. It's going to take about 30 minutes to get there. It's quite good because it shows you where to go, where the stops are, so it's quite clear. But we've come off the train station and we're going into the local tourist area. It's surrounded by modern shops, which is not that interesting, but this is the entrance to the traditional alleyways, which are very different, much more quieter. It's amazing how the atmosphere suddenly changes. From the main road it's really quiet, and then yeah, it was, now it's quiet. I was going to say it's quiet, but you just slam the door and there's a guy behind me who's on the phone who's really loud. But look at this. You know, I really enjoy walking down these alleyways. They're so cozy and interesting to walk down. You can't see that far. Obviously you can't see that high because you're just surrounded by walls. But it's such a nice cozy feeling, and the architecture is mixed with old and new. The floors everywhere you walk in general is really clean. There's a lot of opportunity to take pictures, which you see people doing. You see a lot of families out and about, which is great, a lot of children around, and it's just a family-friendly environment. Right now we're approaching the main street within the tourist area, and this street from left to right is connected by other alleyways, quite famous alleyways with notable people living in this area many years ago. And along this main street you have a lot of artworks, you have a lot of sculptures, you have a lot of opportunity to take photographs of iconic elements that represent the city, and I think this is what China does really well. It creates an environment where it's interactive, where you can enjoy the surroundings and what's around you, and it's just another aspect and just another city that does this really well. That was the tree that's cut into the shape of a heart, where loads of people are taking photos. Oh, it's packed. On both sides you can see the heart shape from the top. I don't know how they cut it like that. Pretty impressive. As you can see, look, there it is. So we're walking down various alleyways and just doing the nice touristy thing, just strolling down the streets and enjoying ourselves. And what's really nice to see is the range of skilled artisans. Like this shop, it had some really nice leather goods, leather bags, and it's good to see the unique aspect of the local culture as well, and the trained people that sell their goods here. We really enjoy this part of the trip. It's starting to drizzle now. We've gone down a alleyway which is much more quieter than the main touristy area, but it's still nice and peaceful. The main road reminds us of the main area in Zhangzhou, the tourist area in Zhangzhou. It's very similar, but it's nice. This area's got a nice vibe to it. It's got some nice classical features as well as contemporary designs. Very pretty. Right, so we're going back down the alley that we just walked up. What's interesting to notice about this place is that they have places where doors are locked, rightly so, because they might be private residents and not allow access to the public. And then you have other areas which are open to the public, and as a tourist or a foreigner, you have no idea what doors you're walking into and what's within those walls. So it's really interesting. It's you don't know what you're going to expect when you're walking down these alleyways, and when you enter these buildings, what you're going to see. So it's a real experience. Now this place is quite interesting. This is what I was talking about. When you walk through an area, you don't know what you're entering. So here we have a museum, and it has various artifacts in there, but you enter to the right and then come out through that door to the left. And it has information on Xi Jin Ping, the current leader of the Chinese Communist Party. And it's really interesting to find out that he considers Fujian his second hometown, and how he was instrumental in eradicating poverty. So it was interesting to see these things and learn about them afterwards. I can't read any of the literature or the signs within the building because everything's in Chinese, which is fine. We use our phone to translate and try and understand what's going on. But just reading the information afterwards, it's interesting to read how Xi Jin Ping started off his political career and how he had a manifesto of reducing poverty. This is the screen which talks about what he did when he was up and coming. Interesting what you find out. From 1990 to 1994, Xi Jin Ping was in power in Fuzhou, and it said through his research he promoted the Fuzhou Economic and Technological Development Zone, which I wasn't aware of, and I find that quite poignant, seeing that we're in Fuzhou and he was once the leader of this town. And this museum is hidden away at the end of this alley. It's really unassuming. Another thing that I learned on this trip was the Hanfu costumes, the traditional Chinese costume that you see these women wearing. And you see them walking around, taking pictures in these locations, in these types of locations, and it's great. There'll be photographers there setting up props, all lighting equipment. It's great. It's so nice to see. In one of these shops, we bought some stuff. You see Shirley here trying on some earrings. She ended up buying, I think, 3 pairs of earrings. And they have loads of different things. There were some magnets. There was a magnet that I bought from there. And we like to buy magnets when we go to a certain destination every time. And it's really important to support your local artisans like these people are. You know, they're making a living off what they make. Same here, I bought some coasters, ceramic coasters for home, which I'm really looking forward to using. And if you ever do go to Fuzhou, this is what the outside of the shop looks like. Okay, so we walked down this alleyway and to the left we found this museum, and this museum is about the links between Taiwan and China, and it states how the people from Taiwan are actually originating from Fujian Province and Guangdong Province, and how they share the same lineage, and how there are no indigenous people of Taiwan because the people of Taiwan are the people of China originating from Fujian or Guangdong. I would recommend coming to this place if you do visit Fuzhou because there is a lot to see, and after walking through many alleyways, just the atmosphere in this particular building is so calming and peaceful, with the koi carps in the various rooms, the plants, the ornate surroundings. They all add this feeling of calmness within the building. So even though the information is not fully accessible if you can't understand or read Chinese, it's still a nice experience to walk around and appreciate the design, appreciate the Chinese architecture, the carvings, the furniture, the innate designs on the cladding. There's a lot to appreciate whilst walking around and just enjoying the environment. This is a really, really good example of not knowing how far back some of these buildings actually go, because this one goes back really, really far. And it's almost like a maze. There's some lovely, lovely details to this building, and I'd recommend going to see it if you're ever visiting Fuzhou. It's an interesting place, as most places are in this area. So we left and continued to walk down the alleyways. We went into another place, and this didn't go that far back. I'm not sure what kind of place it was, but I was just interested in the architecture and the design of the place. The 2 rooms opposite each other were very, very unique and inviting. Within these places you see really nice period features. And then once again you have opportunities to take pictures in different locations. You know, it's continuing that interactive experience throughout the whole tour while you're there. It's really lovely. So after all that walking, we decided to go to the restaurant that we had noticed earlier on, and this place was great. So we're in this Indonesian restaurant called Bandung, and the food is really authentic, glowing green food.
All this for 15 quid?
Yeah, 143. How many dishes? We had three dishes. And two drinks.
2 drinks.
Yeah. So Shirley's got the beef curry here.
Oh, it's so good.
Rice in a bowl, and then we've got prawn crackers, citronella tea, cold, and I've got chai, which is warm. That's lovely. This is coconut and sugar.
Is that nice?
Yeah, it's not too sweet. It's not sweet at all, actually. So after finishing our delicious meal, we made our way out of the restaurant, bellies full and ready to go. We are heading south from this street, Nanhao Street, outside of the Fang Qi Xiang area, which is the tourist area that we've been walking around. And we're going towards the Ancestral Hall and Museum of Lin Zexu. Now, Lin is considered a national hero because he stood up for his country and rallied against the British when they were illegally importing millions of tons of opium into the country. And at that time there was a massive problem with opium addiction, and it was just getting worse. So Lin was appointed the Chinese commissioner in late 1838 in Canton, which is also known as Guangzhou, by the Daoguang Emperor at the time. And Lin was a key figure in triggering the First Opium War, which lasted from 1839 to 1842, because he seized the opium from the British and publicly destroyed it, which infuriated the British. They thought it was really unfair, and so that triggered the First Opium War, which led to military action and the Chinese being defeated and had to secede a lot of things unfairly and legalise the opium trade. As a result of that, Lin was eventually dismissed from office and then sent into exile. But the exhibition itself shows how influential he was in the area, how he represented the Chinese people and had a moral high ground, which was really important. And he stood up for the Chinese people. So it's free to enter the museum. You just have to show your passports at the entrance and they'll give you a ticket. You can see a shrine there dedicated towards Lin. There is information in Chinese and English within the museum, so you get a better understanding of who this person was. After the shrine, you go through this hallway and you're greeted with this lovely, intricate, tiny, cozy garden. You know, I love Chinese gardens. They're so nice. They're so compact and so controlled in how they present the space. And they use plants they stagger plants really, really well in terms of where to place them. This leads into a bigger courtyard where you can walk around and appreciate the different levels and layers of this particular garden. Lots of people appreciating the plants and the trees. And then you walk through and you walk into a larger area which has a pond and a pathway around the pond. This also has fish in it, so people are just feeding the fish there. And it also has a beautiful sculpture of Lin and some cranes, 3 cranes, which has got a lot of movement and grace to it. Yeah, the design of this garden is really, really beautiful as well. I like the contrast between the old and the new. You've got the high-rise buildings in the background, so it's just lovely contrast. This is a lily pond. The weather is too cold for lilies to be growing at this time of the season. And this is just a pan around to see what the rest of the grounds look like. And there's the sculpture that I was referring to. And so to the right we're walking towards the actual museum that talks about the Opium War and the overall effect it had on the Chinese population and the outcomes of the Opium Wars. So it just gives a brief history of what happened. And this is on the way out when you're walking around these. They're from the Qing dynasty, which is 17th century, so it's really impressive, you know, to see the design, to see the spaces and how they were used and how they're used today. The exhibition continues, providing more history around the Opium Wars and how trade was conducted during that time. And this is the exit. that leads out of the museum. And so the grounds itself are nice. The ending is a bit depressing in terms of how it was for the Chinese, but it is very informative. This is what the outside of the museum looks like if you find yourself in Fuzhou. And here we are at the subway station, and we're taking line 1 to wherever we're going. And this is how we pay. We select 2 tickets. We select Alipay, which is a payment app on our phones. It surely scans in the QR code, and 2 tickets come out. And the 2 circular plastic discs. Fuzhou has red ones, and you use this to enter and exit the barriers. So you can just scan them and it opens, and that's it, you're ready to travel.